So this was the last thing I was expecting, is a Gato trailer to wake up to. From the thumbnail, he's got a new design, and it looks kinda insane. And I think it's confirmed one of my theories. It was not a very like, hyper-informed, crazy, big-brain theory. It was just a theory based off of what happened in his ending from Garo, but yeah, it looks like that might be the case. Gato is back, and I'm kinda interested to see what he's got. I'm interested to see if they do the shit they did with him with KOF, if they're gonna keep the KOF-ism of him having... Kinda interested to see if he keeps the double demon flip or not. So, I feel like we're gonna see some new moves. I feel like we're gonna see his counter back, because that was only in Garo, from my understanding, and it wasn't in any of the KOF games. It wasn't in KOF 11. I don't think it was in KOF 2003. I know it wasn't in KOF 15. And I'm interested to see if they bring back the stage, the waterfall stage. If they do, then that is perfect. That's a stage that should return. It was one of those stages that is super iconic to fighting games in general, is Gato's stage. The other ones was like Terry's Garo stage, Terry's OG Fatal Fury stage, and Ken's stage, I'd say, are sort of the iconic ones. In fact, I go as far to say is probably with Ken, we'll probably see Ken's like Super Turbo stage. I wouldn't be surprised. The one with like the boat. Maybe we'll see the Alpha 3 one with all the crazy Capcom characters in the background, but who knows. Anyway, enough of me yammering. Let's see what the hell Gato even has. Probably gonna see some new moves. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some in-air stuff. Oh, this is looking promising. Oh my god. This design. Oh my god, this stage. New stage. Oh my god. Is he a stance character now? Oh wow. Oh wow.
With this, return to dust.
Oh my god.
I hunger. Know this. Here is where.
Oh my god.
Fatal Fury. City of the Wolves.
Holy crap. Okay, so, we got quite a bit to talk about. First of all, how many characters do we have left? Let's check out what Gato has story-wise. A man who fights in order to settle the score with his father. Gao. I thought his name was Geki. I guess it's Gao. In the previous tournament, Gato was nearly blinded after a vicious attack from him, although he has, for the most part, recovered his sense of sight after realizing the sightlessness in his movements. He is now willing to choose to fight in complete darkness. Hearing news of the latest King of Fighters tournament, Gato once again steps into the fray in order to enact his vengeance. Wow. His new design is fantastic, I gotta say. So we've got 4 characters left then, meaning, let's first analyze the trailer and I'll talk about it. We have 4 characters left, and every time we get a new trailer, it bumps off a character. And I'm starting to get worried that we might not see Andy and Joe, which would be kind of scummy. I'm not gonna lie, it'd be kind of scummy. They show off art of Terry, Andy, Joe, and we don't see Andy or Joe in the base game, even though it was the key art had teased it before like the game was like even shown off. That does worry me. I don't think we're getting Freeman. I think any person that thought we were getting Freeman was crazy and not looking at the whole Kevin thing as A, they're bringing back that top tier character, and B, he's involved with investigating Kane because he's an officer in 2nd Southtown, and not everything has to go back to Freeman. And okay, another thing comes up of what are we doing with the second Kim brother? Where's Kane? Kane's gonna have to take up a spot. Hokutomaru is most likely taking up a spot, so that's 2. So that's half of those filled out. And then what? Would it be Andy Joe? No, probably not. We might be seeing Jae-hoon and Gao, potentially, as the other 2. We might be seeing Jae-hoon and, God, who else? I have no idea. I don't think they're bringing back... I don't think Freeman is going to be base roster. I think the people that thought that are kind of crazy. I mean, they'll probably prove me wrong with the next trailer, but I don't see Freeman coming back in place of someone like Jae-hoon or Andy or Joe or Kane or any of those guys. Like, I feel like he's, like, there's several people in front of him in the line of characters that will be base roster, judging by where we at. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if we do see Blue Mary. I think about it off and on, and it's like, if we have 4 characters left and there's 1 character remaining, the most iconic other Fatal Fury character they could add that we've actually seen with the kind of Garo art style would be Blue Mary, because we've seen Blue Mary during that time period with that little short that SNK put out taking place a day before the Maximum Mayhem KOF tournament. So, yeah, that is something. Anyway, let's take a look at what GATO'S even got going on here. The new design is fantastic. The new hairstyle, great. Love it. The beard, love it. The new outfit, giving me Silver vibes. Really like it. I think the green pants is something he's had. Maybe they were black before, but I like it. Animation's looking fantastic. This stage is amazing, by the way. It reminds me a lot of the stage from The Last Blade 2. He's got like a new Rekka. He's got a new counter. I was right about him getting a counter. I think that, does the counter put him into a stance? Or is this just how his stuff looks? It looks like he has a stance, which would make sense for Gato. I mean, Hotaru had a stance in some KOF games, in the like one she was in and in Neo Geo Battle Coliseum, but like Gato getting a stance really just makes sense for a game like this, with its like more crazy combos. I think that Gato is looking amazing. This stage is fantastic. Oh. SPG, looking good. It's his top attack. Okay, so... Oh, wow. Okay. Does he do Air SPG? Oh, wow. Okay. It wasn't all that amazing, that Air SPG. I don't think it's cool as some of the other ones, but, I mean, hey, it's still cool. He's got A flip, right? I don't think they're gonna give him the double flip. I don't think he has the 2 variations of Demon Flip he had before. This super, though, looks fucking phenomenal. Like, the neck snap into the, like, camera angle change. They're really doing a lot with this game, and I love it. You can see, like, where the trees, like, go up all the way. That's super cool. And then, a lot of the characters who have these, like, level 3s in this game, the level 3s aren't particularly crazy, but they kind of do the job. Like, his isn't as crazy as like his KOF 15 one, but it still looks cool, right? I think they beefed him up even more. Oh, there's like tears in his outfit as well. That's crazy. Yeah, no, Gato is looking cool. I'm sure they'll give him his classic outfit. I'm pretty sure SNK is going to go ahead and do the outfit thing, because I know Rooflemonger, like, directly asked to their face, or someone did, some interviewer did, ask directly to their face about the costumes, and I think it's on their radar, right? I don't think there's any way they don't do it now. There's so much interest in this game, and they're already doing a alternate costume with Terry, and I can't imagine they're not going to give Mai hers at some point, right? But you look at like some characters here who have new outfits, and you're like, huh, maybe some of them could get classic outfits, and then some of them could use just straight up new outfits. I'm interested to see if Kane, I'm pretty sure, Kine, if Kine has any new stuff, like costume-wise and move-wise. I'm sure they're going to give him stuff. That's the one character from the key art I know is going to make it in, because we heard his voice, we saw his key art, and he's pretty integral to the story. Let's see here. So Gato, he's also got these arm wrappings around. His new costume though is looking fantastic. The new fit is amazing. I thought they were just gonna give him I thought it was just gonna be Gato's outfit with a blindfold on or something like that to really like sell how you can tell he's blind, kind of like how oh god, what's his name from Mortal Kombat with the sword? That guy with the sword kinda is in some games, but it makes sense here because I guess him just having his eyes closed does kinda sell it. I'm interested to see, I think we'll get his father, whether he's like DLC or if he is base roster. Because, you know, we sort of saw him last game in Gato's ending, and you kind of gotta wonder, how does that character play? Right? If Gato is already this super aggressive, like super opposing character that's like good in every game, then how is his father gonna play? Because he took out Gato in like a single hit, like a single swing, and the Taru, we already know how she is. She looks pretty cool. So I'm kind of wondering what aspects of both of them Gao might get. I'm still interested to see what we get in terms of the rest of the roster, right? Who are the remaining 4 characters? Because if I had to make a guess, it's really hard to guess, right? Realistically. I think we're going to see Andy and Joe, and I think we're going to see Hokutomaru and Kine. And that's who I think we're going to see. I don't know if we're going to see the other Kim brother. We might see the other Kim brother. He might just be DLC. Jaehoon might just be straight up just DLC. I'm trying to also make, like, every time we see a new character, it always, like, reshuffles of who might be DLC for me in my mind. Because I could have easily seen, I don't know, I feel like we would have seen Gato in this. There's some characters I can see as DLC, and there's characters I can't see as DLC. If, like, I think we're going to get Duck King as DLC, obviously. I feel like he's going to be there Season 1. People love Duck King, people have been wanting to see him for a long time. I think we're going to see Blue Mary in that Season 1 DLC. I think we're going to see probably, realistically, I mean, who I'd want to see is probably Sokaku, but I feel like if we're going to get Sokaku Mizuki, we're going to get him Season 2. I think he'll make it. Honestly, I think he'll make it. It's not even just my biases. We kind of have some hints towards him with some of this stuff. He's mentioned in Mai's thing, so there's a connection already between the two, between Mai and Sokaku. And Mai is carrying out a mission even though they're supposed to be rivals, so Sokaku is probably going to show up at some point. Right, I don't think they're just going to mention him and then not bring him in for what he is as a character, because his moveset is not boring or anything like that. He's got this crazy demon stuff. He summons lightning down. He has like this cane that he fights with, the bow staff. Like, I think we'll see him at some point, right? Because like people forget about Sokaku, and there's people like Matt McMuscles who are like, you know, I thought he was going to play like Raiden, which has got to be one of the dumbest takes I think I've ever heard about a character. It's like saying, I thought TJ Combo was going to play like Balrog because they're both boxers. Or fucking, I don't know, Fei Long and freaking, oh god, what's his name? Liu Kang are going to play similar because they're both based off of like Bruce Lee. It's like, it's one of those dumb things. They don't play at all similarly. I think Sokaku's the cooler of the two. I think just some lightning god that does Psycho Crushers is only okay, and I think this guy that summons demons with like claw traps and all these other stuff. Like, so Kaku has like a really interesting playstyle. I know we're supposed to be talking about Gato, but like I think we'll see him at least in season 2. I don't think we'll see him season 1, but I think we'll see him season 2. And I feel like with how his stuff is visually, I feel like it would work a lot in this game, and I feel like how it would work in the in the SPG system and the Rev system would work really well. I could really see some crazy combos with him. But in terms of other characters we might see DLC-wise, it's hard to say. I think we'll see Duck King and Blue Mary. I think we will probably see Yamazaki. I don't know if he might be a Season 2 character, to be real. I feel like they're going to probably stick one other fan favorite that I'm blinking on right now in there. Probably another Garo character. We're probably going to see Jaehoon. We might see Kim, to be real. We might just see straight up Kim in that first season. I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Mr. Karate too. I think that would be there's a large chance of Rio coming in and playing a hell of a lot differently than Marco, especially since SNK is working on Art of Fighting 4, I think that it's not unrealistic to say they would bring in Rio to kind of bridge the gap between those two games. I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to do with that, right? But we'll see. When it comes to other characters, there's so many Fatal Fury characters. I could see Chang showing up in Season 2. I know that like he's not a super fan favorite, but his kind of role would make sense just because of how he's been in the story, and he's being one of the like 3 Masters of Heavenly Combat or some shit. So I could see it. And then there's other characters that I could see as well. There's so many Fatal Fury characters. I don't think we're going to see Bob. I think we're going to see Richard Meyer instead, because he has not had any time to shine other than Fatal Fury 1 and a Maximum Impact game. And I think that I could see them bringing him back, even though he'd be super old at this point. If Bob is just chilling in the background, they should at least bring in Richard Meyer to fill in his role, just because we have not seen him in a long-ass time. And he has not gotten his proper time to shine. I don't know if they're going to bring in Raiden. I hope they do. I think Raiden would be probably one of the most welcome characters, because he's probably, in my opinion, the best grappler from the Fatal Fury series. I like Tizak, and I like Krauser. Actually, I think Krauser would probably be second place for me. But I think Raiden really just sells that, like, backyard wrestler kind of style, especially since he's all from Australia. But I think that there are quite a few characters that we might see from Fatal Fury, and it's really interesting, and I'm really interested to see who we're going to see, right? Who is SNK going to choose when it comes to these characters? Gato having a stance is pretty cool. It looks like he has a stance at least, which might change up entirely how he plays. I might have to pick him up. The other problem I'm going to have is, who am I going to pick up day 1, right? I thought it was just going to be easy. It's going to be Hotaru or Kane. And then there's these other characters that are like enticing me. Gato looks super cool. Might have to pick him up. I'm going to probably try most of the roster day 1 and then maybe hover around Hotaru, because I have the most experience playing her and Kain. So I'm super interested to see how Billy plays, because we've seen Billy, but I'm kind of interested to see how he feels hands-on. This is going to be interesting. I think they will bring back Geese, as much as I don't want them to. And I want them to leave him dead, but I don't think he'll be Season 1. I think he'll also be a Season 2 kind of character. Right? He's going to have to be like Nightmare Geese, because I could really see him working in this, like, style or engine. But what I can't see is them making a base roster Season 1. I might be wrong on that, but we'll see. Not about the base roster. There's no way they make him base roster. I think there's going to be several characters in front of them in line first, before they bring back the dead character that's supposed to be dead. So, yeah. Thank you to everybody for tuning in. I think Gato and his new stance stuff is super cool. I think it's stance stuff. It looks like it. I think that just, like, his stage looks phenomenal. Is this on top of the waterfall? Is it the waterfall in the background? I don't know. Tell me who you think the rest of the roster is going to be down below. It's really hard to say, just because there's so many characters it could be, and I feel like it would be a little scummy if they did make it Andy and Joe as the other ones. It would be a little boring, yeah, but like, they showed them, and then not bringing them in, because I can't see them as DLC realistically. I feel like that would be such a boring thing to do DLC-wise when there's so many other characters. And I really feel like I feel like since they even went through the trouble of somewhat giving them new designs, at least somewhat in the sense of Joe, and then with Andy they just overhauled his design, I feel like it would be just stupid for them not to bring back the two characters base roster, because again, I can't see them as DLC realistically. They're significant enough to be base roster, but they're too insignificant to be DLC. They're kind of in that that ballpark of like certain characters that if they're not base roster, they're not getting in. At least in my eyes, and I feel like a lot of people's eyes, because they deserve a spot. But is anybody going to pay for them as DLC? I know I'm kind of speaking hyperbole here, because obviously the first season of DLC is free, but at the same time, it's like there's only like 3 spots on that DLC that aren't crossover characters, so to make 2 of them, like, I don't know, the OG Fatal Fury playable characters would be kind of scummy. And I say scummy in the sense of there's other characters people want to see, and to do that where they make characters that already have animations, already have models from the last game, even though they're going to update the models here, would be kind of scummy. Right? It's kind of like how they made Kim DLC, but they really did upgrade Kim, and they really gave Kim a lot in KOF 15. But in a game like this, like, I could see Kim, but there's also Kim's 2 sons already probably going to show up. So it's hard to say. There's a lot of cool characters, and I really don't see them not being in the base roster and having them as DLC after showing them as key art and people wanting these characters in here, but them not being significant enough to be DLC, really in a lot of people's eyes. So it's kind of weird, and it's kind of hard to say who's going to be next. I think from the information we have, if I had to make a safe bet, it would be Hokuchimaru, Andy, Joe, Kine. That is sort of my final guess. I don't know if that's who we're going to see or not, but that is sort of my final guess here. That leaves us without a Kim brother, but it's the stupid Kim brother that people shit on for some reason. He's not really stupid, he's pretty cool, but I don't see them not putting Andy and Joe, and I definitely don't see them putting in Hokuchimaru and Kane not being base roster since they were shown in the voiceovers. So it's hard to say. It really is. I thought this roster was going to be, base roster-wise, more of a mix of Garo, classic Fatal Fury and Garo Mark of the Wolves, just because that's kind of what they said in early interviews, but it's turning out to be a lot of Garo characters, like most of the Garo cast with a couple Fatal Fury iconic characters smacked in there, like Mai, I think that's it. I mean, there's Terry, there's Mai. Is there anybody else? I'm trying to think. Is there anybody else? Billy Kane, Billy Khan, whatever they want to call him. Billy Khan. But it's really hard to say, honestly. If they're, because like, if it's just Garo characters but with EX moves, it's so weird to kind of get into this, right? To look at this and see it's a lot of Garo characters with a couple of like 2 new characters and like 3 OG Fatal Fury characters. That's why I can't really see them not putting Andy and Joe in. You can't not have the like trio of Terry, Andy, Joe, and then just have them be DLC. That would be just stupid. It would just be so stupid for them to do that. In the sense of like, not stupid from like a marketing standpoint, I guess. Oh, it would be. Not really, because the DLC is free. Maybe that's why the DLC is free. Add these characters in, but they're like, no, we want these other characters in, so we'll work on them later. I don't know. It's really hard to say. I'm yammering, and I'm gonna have to edit this video down quite a bit. So, thank you to everybody for tuning in. Much appreciated, as always. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. As I said before, tell me down below what you think of Gato, and tell me down below who do you think we'll see as the last 4 characters. Anyways, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.